Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Spotlight of the Day. And today we have an interesting library. It's called Tesseract.js. It's called Tesseract.js. And so what is Tesseract.js? So Tesseract.js is a port of the original Tesseract library. So what is the original Tesseract then? So Tesseract is a open source engine which helps us in OCR. So what is OCR? OCR is again the full form of OCR is optical character recognition. So if I have to explain it in simple words, OCR is nothing but uh, detecting text in image. So let's say you have an image of some notes and you want to convert that into actual text. So that's when OCR comes into picture. You can do OCR on that image and you can get the text. You can extract the text out of it. So the original Tesseract engine, it's made by Google and it's written in C++. But the but this Tesseract.js, it's a port of the same Tesseract OCR engine in JavaScript, so that we can use it in browser or Node.js. So right now we'll be using it in a browser. And so let's talk about some practical use cases. So where do we need OCR in practical use cases? There could be many use cases again. I'll give you some examples. So it's actually used by government as well. Like it's used by traffic cops. So have you ever tried to jump a signal and some traffic cops might take a pic of your bike number, your bike or car number, and after a few days you'll be getting a challan. I mean, you will be getting a fine on your vehicle. So how it works is when they take the photo of your bike or your car, they after the photo is taken, it is processed by some software. I mean some backend API. So how it processes using some OCR. So it takes the photo of your bike vehicle's number and it converts it into text, and then it does a search of using the number. It will search like whose bike is this, and it will come up as your name, and then you will be sent a challan. I mean a fine. So that's one practical use case of where OCR is used. Same way again, if you want some practical use cases in general for yourself, then let's say you're taken photos of your friends' notes in your mobile, and you want to edit some of it and use it for yourself. So then you can't manually type everything from your friend's notes, right? If you have to edit it, if you don't have OCR, you have to manually type everything again, and then you have to edit it. So that's when again OCR helps you. Just run that image through OCR. You get all the text, edit whatever you want. That's an interesting use case, right? So that's how OCR works. So let's dive into this. So we have this Tesseract.js GitHub repo here. We'll be running it in a browser. So I have a basic React app here. It's an empty React app. It's already running. It's just an empty React app. So we'll be installing the Tesseract.js library in this React app, and we'll be giving it some UIs to run the OCR. So let's get started. So first I'll install the library. Where is it? This is not the one. This is the one. Where is it? Installation. So this is the command. I'll copy this command. I'll install the library first. It shouldn't take much time. It will take like few seconds. Yeah, it's installed. Then let's start using this library now. So right now I have this empty app, right? So I'll remove this all this unnecessary elements. I'll remove all this. So it's an empty app now. So what I'll do is I'll just put one input. Type equals to file. This is so that we can upload an image. Let's see. Yeah, we have got the input. I'll add some padding for this app. I'll just add some padding, 50 px. Nice. Now let's add an on change listener on file change. So whenever we select a file, this on file change gets triggered. On file change equals to console.log read. So whenever we get an event, and inside the event we have something called as files. So this is where we'll get the file. It gets a list of files, but we will just use the first file. So files of 0. Let's just log it for now. Let's see if when we select a file, if it opens it or not. I already got some sample images for testing this OCR. I already put it in a folder called sample images. So I'll just select something first, and this is just to test whether it's triggering the file or not. So if you see the console, it's triggering the file. I mean, it's logging the file. You can see the name of the file and everything. So the on change is working. So let's add one submit button below this. I'll put a div and I'll add a submit equals to button and value equals to submit. Let's see how it looks. I'll remove this. Let's add some spacing for this. I'll just add margin top of 50. Don't use inline styles in in your production code. This is just example, so I'm using inline CSS. Just give class names and write CSS separately here. It's 50 is too much. Let's just give 25. Okay, cool. Now and process. Let's write an image. Write a function called process image, and so whenever we click on the submit button, this process image should get called. So on click equals to process image. And when we click on the submit button, we should be able to process the file. So to save this file, let's use a state variable. So file set file state of just use state. And when we click on process image, let's log the file that we have. File, and whenever the file changes, we'll set it to the file state variable that we have instead of logging here. Cool. Let's see. So right now it's empty. Let's select a file and let's click on submit. So whenever we click on submit, it's logging the file that we selected. That's cool. So now what we can do is, after we click on submit, we should be able to process this image and we should be able to get the text out of it. We should be able to extract the text out of it. So let's go to the GitHub library, GitHub repo. So they already have some sample code. Let's copy this code. So when we click on submit, the process image function gets called. So what we'll do is, let's import Tesseract. We are importing Tesseract here. Oh, sorry, this is not from the, okay. So let's import Tesseract and I'll replace the file URL with the actual file that we have. So this is the language. So we are setting it to English by default. We'll change it later on. So let's see what happens when we do this. So I have this sample text, right? I'll show you some of them. I've got it in like different languages: Hindi, Telugu, English, Kannada. I'll just show you a few of them. If you see, this is English. I'll run through something simple. This is a very simple image with some like just 2 lines of text. It has how to create random sample text. So let's run this file and see what it logs. So sample text.2 and let's submit. If you see, it's logging few things. It's logging the progress and finally it's logging the result, saying that, so this is the result. It has converted, it took the image, it processed the image, and it's logging the text here. So instead of logging it here, we'll make the UI show the text here. And also, if you see this, whenever we run this, it takes some time, right? It takes some time to process the image. and it also gives us this progress, like it shows us like how much of it is completed. So initially it's 0, then it's 0 0.1, 0 0.3, and at the end it will be 1. So when it's completed it will be 1, and once it's completed it will give us the result. So let's show a progress bar. So when we click on submit, it should show a progress bar. So what we can do is, below the submit button, I'll add one more div, and I'll add a progress bar. So progress is a native HTML element, and value equals to 0, max is 1. So if you see this, the progress max is 1. It starts with 0 and ends with 1. So we're giving value 0 for now, and max is 1. But the thing is, we're hard coding it to 0. It should not be hard coded to 0. It should change based on the actual progress. So what we'll do is, let's use one more state variable called progress, and set progress. By default, we'll set it to 0. I'll remove this. So let's set the progress value to actual progress. Cool. And if you see the logs, so it logs different things. So initially the status is loading Tesseract core, and then it initializes Tesseract, then it's loading some train data, and it initializes the API. So there are a lot of status going on, and finally it comes to recognizing text. So we want to know the progress of recognizing text. So what we'll do is, when it is logging this, so we have this logger which has the status. So instead of just logging it, what we'll do is, if you see the status, it says recognizing text. So if m.status equals to recognizing text, if it is recognizing text, then let's set the progress. So we are setting progress to, if you see this again, it's inside progress. So m.progress. If you are wondering what is m is nothing but, sorry, just a sec. M is nothing but the object that we get here. Like we can replace it with result or something like that. Then you have to replace this m with result. For short form, I just kept it m. So let's see if it shows the progress or not. So let's choose a file. Let's click on submit. Let's see if it shows the progress or not. As you can see, the progress bar is moving, and once it's completed, it showed the file result. So let's show the result as well in the UI. So let's use one more state variable called result, and let's use set result. Result, and use state. By default it will be empty, and once we get the result, instead of just logging it, we will set the result. So now let's add one more variable which says result. Okay, let's give it some spacing. I'll add some margin top 20, and let's give it some font size of like 18 or 20. I'm just showing the result in a big font size, in a larger font size. Font size 18, and what else do we need? Let's give it a color. Let's give it a color of, let's say, teal. Cool. So once we get the result, we'll show the result. Let's see. So right now the result is empty, and we want to show the result only if we actually have some result. So if result, and if result is not empty, then we'll show this. Otherwise we won't show this. Okay, cool. So let's select the image now. Select this, submit. It will show the progress bar, and once it is complete, it should show the result here. It's not showing the result. Why is it? Okay, because I did not I did not write it here. So result and result. Yeah, now it's showing result. Let's increase the font size further. Let's increase the font size to 24. Cool. So now we have the result. So if you see the image, this is the one, and it has extracted it perfectly. Everything, including the copyright symbol. So now, so this is how it's as simple as that. We just need to run it, and we just need to use a library. We just run the image through the library, and we get the result. And it's an amazing library because it supports a lot of languages as well. If you see this, the supported languages, it supports like hundreds of languages. So for this test, I've chosen like four languages. One is English, other one is Telugu, which is my mother tongue, and then there's Kannada because I'm in Karnataka, and then there's Hindi, which is the Indian, which is like more spoken in India. So let's try all these samples and see how it works. So let's select one. Let's select Telugu. Let's see what happens. It should fail. And one more thing, when I click on submit, you see that result, it still shows the old result. You should remove that. So if you see result, it failed actually. Do you know why it failed? It failed because we are setting the default language as English. So we should have one drop down which will have an option to select the language. So before we do that, so whenever we click on submit, it should make the result empty. So what we'll do is inside this process image function, let's set the result to empty when it starts. And let's also set the progress to 0. So that when it starts, it will be 0 and then it will move on to 100. I mean 1. So now if I click on submit, it's gone. Progress is also gone to 0. Now it will go to 1 and then it will show the result. But yeah, it's still failing because it's in Telugu, but we have selected the language as English. So let's have one more drop down which will have an option to select the language. So next to this input, what I'll do is I'll add a select. I'll add option. Perfect. English, I'll add Telugu. I'll add Hindi. And if you're wondering why am I giving ENGTL, these are the code like keys for this. So these are the language codes. You can get it in the documentation. And the final one is Kannada. KAN. Okay, and the value is supposed to be. So let's have one more state variable which holds the language. Sorry, not result, language. Cool. So we have, by default, we are setting the language to English, and we should be able to change the language. And on change, set language. Cool. So let's see if it is showing the language. It's showing in the next line because I gave it here. I'll move it up. I'll move it next to this input. Nice. So we have the file input selector here, and we have the drop down which where you can select the language. So now, so let's take one different language. Let's take Telugu. If you want to see what's inside the Telugu image, so this is one. It's actually I've taken I've taken some sentence which is a bit hard. I mean even I can't read it properly. So it has some very difficult words. So let's see if if the soft library is able to extract the text or not. So instead of English, we'll select Telugu now. Let's click on submit. So it's running. Let's see. It still did not work because we are still setting it to English. We should change it to the language. Let's submit again. Now it should work. Yeah, as you can see, it has extracted every word perfectly. Where is my sample images? If you see this, it has extracted everything. I mean, I'm sure you won't understand this, but yeah, it has extracted perfectly. Let's try a different language again. So we're done with Telugu. Let's try with Hindi. So if you see in Hindi, I've chosen some difficult words. Let's try Hindi now. I'm choosing file, select Hindi, open, and submit. Let's see. Okay, it did not work because the language I selected still Telugu. I'll change it to Hindi and I'll submit. Let's see if it works. Nice. It did. Let's see if it correctly extracted the text or not. It's perfect. Even the punctuation is also perfect. It has extracted it perfectly, and you can see it's all text. It's not a copy of image or something. It's all text. You can edit this as well if you want. So let's try the final language. That is Kannada, and let's select Kannada. Where is it? Kannada sample. If you want to see the Kannada sample, here it is. Even this is this is like a low resolution image, but I think it should still work. Let's try it. And this also has some difficult words because it's from a newspaper, I guess. So let's see. Let's submit. It's loading, and it should work. Perfect. It did load everything. Let's compare it with the actual image. Perfect. Along with the punctuation, everything is perfect. Cool. Let's take let's use one more English. Let's test one final sample, but this will use some this has like a lot of words, and also it's the resolution is not that good. It's kind of pixelated. So let's try this with the final one with a lot of words, which is this one. Let's see. Let's submit. Let's see, it's taking some time. Okay, did not work because I did not select the language. Okay, let's see. I hope maybe they have some auto language detection. Maybe they have. I should go through the documentation. But yeah, now I'm good with giving the language manually. But maybe they have that feature as well to detect the language automatically. And if you see the text, where is it? Sample text, and it has retrieved it perfectly. Yeah, that along with the punctuation, maybe some small mistake in the punctuation, but yeah, still like pretty good. 99%, 99.5% good. Cool. So that's for today, guys. So that's how you do OCR. That's how you do text recognition in a browser or Node.js. You can use this library in Node.js as well, but I wanted to show it in the browser, and so you can build some really cool stuff using this OCR library. You can build something like detecting your vehicle's number, or a lot of things you can do. You can let's say you can detect IDs on your you can detect the name on someone's shirt. You can do a lot of things with this, and also this library works with video as well, not just image. So I just showed the samples in image, but it works with video as well. It does real-time recognition. So there are a lot of like this the room for exploring is there's a lot of room, so you can just explore and you can try different things. You can build a lot of things with this. You can build some really cool stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked it, and if you liked it, do leave a like and do subscribe. Good content needs more subscribers. So do subscribe, do like, and do turn on the notifications as well, because I'll be streaming every day. So every day 9:30 p.m. IST I'll be streaming, and every day there'll be a new topic. So I'll see you again tomorrow with a new spotlight of the day. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.